Well, hello everyone. We're back for another Monday of Fair Life with Andrew McKee. And yeah, another weekend at Fair for me at the Sherwood Forest Fair. I hope some of you got to go to some fairs as well and enjoy it because it still seems all fresh and new after a long drought without fair for almost a year for most of us. So, still magical as ever. Now, I did have some really cool experiences this last weekend. Wow, let's see. We did have a really beautiful day. It was a bit hot on both Saturday and Sunday in the 80s, but for those of us who are local here in Central Texas, that really isn't that hot. I'm just going to be honest. You still want to be careful and make sure you hydrate and all of the important things, but still, it's not that hot really. That's still no problem going out and mowing your yard weather as far as I'm concerned. So all is well. So hey everyone, Jan, great to see you, and glad you're doing better. I know that you unfortunately had to miss out on some fair time because of a foot thing, and I'm really glad you're doing better there. Greg, Janine, hey, and Teresa, Kathy, Drew, hey, yes, Drew, glad you're back, and Diana, great to see you. And Kristen, wow, yes, I know she experienced some of that hot temperatures like the rest of us there at Sherwood. And Drew went to TRF. Okay, well, let's see. Crystal, hey, great to see you. And oh, and Damaris, hey, great to see you too. Yeah, it is. It was a great weekend, and yeah, I mean, all in all, a good crowd. Saturday, very large. Sunday, I mean, it was okay. Mother's Day being what it is, not always a big fair day on Mother's Day. Sometimes, but not usually. And just since we brought it up, Happy Mother's Day to those of you who can celebrate that, and always a good time. Oh, and Michael, hey, great to see you. Well, now since I've got your attention, hey, if you could go over and share this on Facebook, if you can, I would appreciate it. Go ahead and click the share button so you can get the word out for my show tonight and help me out. I always appreciate it. So yes, thank you. Let's see. Also, a few weeks ago, I came up with this idea for a show at Sherwood. It was kind of interesting. Ermagerd the Bard was lamenting the fact that the stage they put her on was the combat arena, which is an odd stage for a musician, and she wasn't quite sure how to approach it. So I threw out the idea of, well, why don't you just get another performer or musician there and have a bard off, bard competition, fight it out like if for a combat arena. And she was like, that's a great idea. Are you free? Do you want to do it? And I was like, oh, no. Why did I make a joke? Why did I throw out an idea? But I figured it out, and we found a way to make it work with my schedule, and we did it for a couple of weekends, and that was great. Then I had the reunion shows with Mark, with the Brobdingnagian Bards for a couple of weekends, and that made fitting that in the schedule impossible. So she went with a few other performers in there, and they had a great time. And now I'm back. So she's gone from the fair, unfortunately. So Lady Prudence ended up taking that over, and I joined her for this past weekend. And that was a lot of fun. A ton of fun, because we have somebody who moderates it, the Uriel, who comes in and takes care of that and does a great job. He judges and everything, and he's the fairy king and goes in there and does that, and it is great. He gives us challenges and says, okay, I want you to sing this song, this type of song, while standing on one foot, and okay, I want you to it was just, we were coming up with songs on the spot, interacting with the audience and doing all this great stuff, and it is a lot of fun. I at the time I thought it just might be a good idea, but it's really turned into something special. The audience seems to like it, I think, because it is different. It's not a standard show, and something special is always fun. Oh, I don't worry, Drew. I have played dueling banjos there more than once. When there's a bit of a pause and we get into it at the beginning, I'll break out dueling banjos on the recorder, because how can you not? It's difficult to resist. Difficult to resist. Ah, but yeah. Always fun. But no, it is a great time. And yeah, and Kristen is right. Lady Prudence is fantastic. She is so it's so much fun to do that with her, and we have a great time. Definitely a worthy competitor, I will say that, which is always important. I mean, don't have to worry. Well, actually, I do have to worry because if I even don't bring 100% for a second, I'm going to lose that competition, and I know it. So we really go. We're not. I mean, it's all fun, but we do take it a little seriously, at least. Oh yes. Right. So always fun. And for those of you that may not remember Lady Prudence, she has been on the show a few times, and you can go back to some of our gathering shows and check her out. She has a lovely voice and plays several different instruments, including a harp, and definitely a very talented performer, so somebody to check out. Oh, and Drew continues to work on his recorder. Yeah, the next time I see you, Drew, we really need to do some recorder jam because jamming on the recorder with other recorder players is a lot of fun. It can be sometimes tough to have the tuning right with two recorders, but if they're close at all, it is a lot of fun. It really is. You can go back and forth and have a ball. So yeah, let's definitely do that. I like that. Oh, and yeah, that was a lot of fun in the combat arena, and I expect to do that again next weekend with Lady Prudence. I think, but Sherwood is an odd fair in several ways, really. But in one way, the schedule changes every week. I mean, generally, when you do a fair, you have the same schedule. If you're doing the full run, you have the same schedule for the entire full run on the same stages. It's not common to switch it out, but if you here, it can change week to week. I'll get in contact with the entertainment director every week, and he'll say, "Oh, well, okay, how was the schedule last weekend? Did that work? Okay, we might." Sometimes it stays the same, but sometimes he moves us around. It is a really strange thing. It opens up possibilities of trying new things and never being stuck at one stage that maybe you're not crazy about for the entire run. So it's an interesting experience. I kind of like it. And Drew is not sure if he's at the jam level. I will disagree with that because I think anybody who can play an instrument, you can jam. I mean, even if you just play a couple of notes and play a bass line on an instrument back and forth, it's really just a comfort level. And I think jamming helps bring that comfort level forth. So I will say that I think everybody can jam. You just have to be willing to put yourself out there. And Kristen is asking what time Bardoff is. Well, okay, like I said, the time has changed. It hasn't been the same time. Earlier in the season, it was at 2. And this last weekend, it was at 2:30 at the Combat Arena. So odds are it'll probably be 2:30 for this Saturday and Sunday. We'll see, but I can't guarantee that. But it's around that time, and it probably will continue to be. And the response has been very positive, so I expect to continue to see it. Yeah, I've been very happy with it. Okay, well, and he says he can play the C major scale, so you can just jam in C. Nothing wrong with that, Drew. Oh, and Kristen says she could have made it. Well, next week, definitely check it out. It's a lot of fun. And it's been interesting because at first it was just random people who showed up, but gradually people have started to come to our earlier shows, both Lady Prudence's and mine, and we talk about it, and they seem to really think that's a great idea. So people from our shows have showed up. That's why I know it's kind of it comes off as a bit of a special event as opposed to a standard show, and I think that's why it's been getting somewhat popular. And Janine is talking about jamming and says it's like playing by ear, which is very intimidating. And you're not wrong, Janine, but here's the thing. I mean, it's not. If you're in the right key, you can get away with a lot. As long as you know what key you're in and you're like limited to these 7 or 8 notes or so. And if you want to go even really bare, you can limit yourself to like a pentatonic scale version of it, like in 5 notes, and really just play it around a little bit, play kind of a counter melody or a bass line, and what that means is just while somebody's playing the full melody, you just kind of play something that blends in the background, and generally you can just get away with it. And here's the best part. If we're just doing it together, you don't have to worry about an audience, really. We're just jamming and having fun. So if you hit a wrong note, okay, you change notes and you get the right one, and you've learned from that experience. That's why I think jamming is very important and a lot of fun. And Chris is talking about strawberry or blueberry jam. Strawberry. I'm sorry. I'm more of a strawberry fan than blueberry. I'm just going to come clean on that. It's the truth. It is the truth. But yeah, I mean, the thing is, the more limits you put on music, the easier it gets. If you just play two notes back and forth, well, you played one note, then the next note is obviously probably going to be the other one, and the trick is just figuring out how long you want to play it. And you can probably just keep playing one note until it doesn't quite sound right, so you switch to the other one, and you're probably safe. I mean, it's a good place to start. Ooh, strawberry rhubarb jam. That's from Alacia, by the way, because Alacia is in the comments tonight and helping with the show, so always good because she's always fun to play with. Uh, yeah, so, and Damaris is on the strawberry camp as well. Excellent. I like blueberries, but alone, I prefer strawberries. And I tend to like strawberries in general, blended with other things as well. I don't know. I don't think that's an uncommon thought. Yeah, especially with chocolate. Oh my gosh, some of the best. Just throwing it out there. Oh, but there's also another. Alacia says, always fun to play with. I need that on a business card. And actually, yeah, that's pretty cool for a business card. I think that would be good. Wow. And Jan is saying strawberries forever. And of course, I immediately think of a Beatles song, but we'll skip that. And yeah, Elizabeth, we are, you're not the only one. I'm making myself hungry right now. In fact, after this show, I might have to go get some strawberries. I don't know if I have any. I've frozen them all to make smoothies, which I do for my fair day. I make a smoothie, a strawberry, banana, and grape smoothie, and blend it in the morning and put it in a thermos, and I put it in my pack basket. And halfway through the day, I pour it into my Faire mug, and I drink a really awesome strawberry, banana, grape smoothie. And it's still cold, and I recommend it if you can do something like that. Now, of course, at fairs, they have all this cool stuff you can, cold items you can eat, so it usually works out well there too. Oh, but yeah, I was going to say there is another show that has kind of grown and prospered that I'm very proud of. It started out with Alan Adele and I doing an end of day show at 5:15 at the Three Stags pub at Sherwood. And it was just, we don't normally play together in an official stage. So we go up there and he'll lead a song, I'll play along, I'll lead a song, he'll play along, and we'll just go back and forth. And it was a lot of fun. People liked it. And when Lady Prudence came to Faire and joined the performers on that, she talked about it, and we said, hey, she said, mind if I join you? And we're like, that's actually a really interesting idea. I think that would add a cool dynamic. And she came in, and she did. And we called ourselves the Three Bards. I know, a little pretentious, but okay, I came up with it, so obviously. But it was, it's gone over really well. And past weekend was the first time we did it, and I think everybody really liked it. Between the three of us, we add a bunch of different dimensions to it, and we go back and forth and jam and have a good time and joke around on stage, and the audience really seems to like it. So that has been a lot of fun too. So we've had a lot of cool stuff going on that I've been very happy about. Great shows and good friends and a lot of fun. And really, if you're not achieving that at Faire, you're doing it wrong. And all of you who've done Faire before know exactly what I'm talking about. I guarantee you. Oh, and Alicia has given me a little, a little flack, a little pretentious. Okay, fine, fair enough. Oh, and Diana's talking about frozen strawberries with milk poured over, and yeah, that is really tasty. Yes, very good, very good. Oh, and Drew's talking about making a list of things he can't eat. Oh, I'm so sorry. But I'm sure there are at least a few good things. And hey, share, what are some of the best things, Drew, that you can eat, that you are able to eat, that you really love? So yeah, let us know. I'd be curious. And yeah, anybody else who wants to chime in and say what their favorite treats are, that they're go-tos. I'd be interested in that too. Definitely. Oh man. So yeah, now I'm going on and on about Sherwood, and I know that there are some of you that are not close enough to have even ever been to Sherwood, so I understand. But there are several other fairs that are open now. It's not just Sherwood, and I mean Sherwood was one of the early ones to jump back in last month in April. But yeah, now we have. Let's see. Let's go through. We have Scarborough Renaissance Festival, Scarborough Fair in Waxahachie. That's North Texas. Well, not North Texas, but Northeast Texas. And Bay Area Renaissance Festival in Florida. Avalon Fair opened up, and that's in Kilgore, Texas. That's East Texas. Texas is so big, you kind of have to put that in regions. There's the Oklahoma Renaissance Festival at the Castle of Muskogee. That's in northeast Oklahoma, in Muskogee, Oklahoma. And then there's the Tennessee Renaissance Festival, and that's near Nashville. They just started, and that is, or they're starting, and that is great. And then there's the Georgia Renaissance Festival. That's just south of Atlanta. I don't know, about 30 minutes or so. So usually they are pretty close to major cities. And then you have one that I actually am not even that familiar with, the Des Moines Renaissance Festival in Des Moines, Iowa. And yeah, if any of you have any experience with that, I'd be interested in hearing about it. But yeah, and that's the beautiful thing. Fairs come and go, and there's always new ones to explore and try out. And I love that part about it. It's never gets old. If you can travel, it's wonderful. So let's see. Oh yeah, yeah, Kristen, all about the pretzels. I get it. Yes. Okay, Drew can do all the meat and all the cheese. Well, okay, Drew, what is your favorite meat and your favorite cheese? Come on, let's get some details here. Because I mean, is it turkey? Is it steak? I mean, seafood? What do you got? And cheese? I mean, that's a big question. That's important. I always try new cheeses for my lunch when I bring it out. I bring sliced turkey and different cheeses. I've been enjoying a port wine derby cheese recently. But so I'll always go back to some of my standards, some Gouda or some Havarti or something like that, just for fun. Yes. Okay. Oh, and Janine's talking about asparagus. And it's seasonal, so that makes it a treat when it's fresh. That's very nice, yes. Um, and oh, Drew's talking about the Queen's Pantry at TRF has an unwrapped grilled chicken wrap that he really enjoys. Okay, okay. Ritz crackers with peanut butter. Classic, Kathy. Totally respect that. Always good. Oh, and Elizabeth is talking about Central Florida in November. Yeah, Fair in the Fall. Fair in the Fall it's just a different animal than the spring, don't you think? I mean, there's similarities, but there's also major differences. I mean, in the weather and the colors of the leaves, and everything. It's just it's just a different feel, and I love that about it. Spring and fall fairs, even if they're in the same state or even close to each other, it's a totally different feeling to me, and I love that about it. So I totally get that. Oh yes. Alicia's talking about some her favorite fair foods. But yeah, Jerusalem Cafe at Sherwood. Yeah, that is good. Oh, TRF steak on the stick. Um, yes, yes. TRF steak on the stick. That is true. That is always this. Dubliner cheese. Greg, you are right. I had some of that a few weeks ago at Sherwood, and very good stuff. Definitely. Wow, thank you, Kristen. That is a good compliment. Oh, Scarby has the most foods on a stick of any festival. That is always good. Yes, and if you want to go to the state fair that has the most things fried, I think the Texas State Fair might give other places a run for their money. It is frightening. Whew. Uh, oh, and Drew's saying Aldi has a selection of fancy cheeses. Yes, I tend to go to Central Market with that HEB place, but it's all depends on where you live. And Damaris is saying bacon wrapped stuffed jalapenos at Medieval Munchies are amazing. Wow, bacon wrapped stuffed jalapenos. I'll have to check that out. Thank you, Damaris. All right. Well, yeah. So really good foods out there, and a lot of good fairs. And the beautiful thing about Faire, now I think Drew can probably back me up on this a little bit. Food at Faire has changed a lot in the last 20 to 30 years. I mean, when I first started going to Faire when I was a kid back in the early '90s, it was very different. I mean, turkey leg was pretty much the main delicacy, and if you wanted to go really sweet and exotic, you'd get a funnel cake. It was like that. Now, oh my gosh, the variants and the different options, and there are usually places that have vegetarian and vegan options. I mean, it's come a long way, and I really appreciate that because it's really difficult to not be satisfied with the food at a lot of fairs now, and I love that. Mm. So yes, yes. Thanks, Drew. Yeah, okay, yeah. For backing me up on that. Yeah, yeah. And you hadn't really thought about that. Yeah, it is kind of crazy when you think about it, right? The food and how it's changed. I mean, I think it's for the better. I mean, and you can still get those foods that you remember from back in the day. They're still there. It's not like they went away and they've replaced them all. They haven't. But there's so many more options, and I think that's better for everyone. Oh, and Kristen, yeah, she really appreciates the vegetarian options at Faire. A lot of people have. I mean, I remember that, for vegetarian, you were pretty much stuck with soup in a bread bowl, and that was your only option when you go back to the '90s. I know my sister, who's a vegetarian, that was her thing. She would just say bread bowl, and that was it. But it's so much has changed. It's really good, really so much better. I love that. So anyway, yes, memory lane of Faire, always good. Yeah. But anyway, I don't know if some of you saw our Thursday gathering last week. I'm sure no, some of you did, but and you're right, Kristen. The broth is tricky with the vegetarian idea. If I remember correctly, they TRF back in the day they had a few different soups, and one of them was vegetarian, if I remember correctly. I might be mistaken on that, but I remember my sister telling me something about that. I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but you're right. You have to be really careful with that. Mm. And a great comment by Drew that two big differences in the food now. He can't afford them now, but he can't eat them now. I'm so sorry, man. But that's why you have kids, because you can live vicariously through their enjoyment, right? That's the idea. We'll say that. But yes, last Thursday we had the Jester Puppets and Joust Evolution on our gathering show, which actually, yeah, let me just jump over here and yeah, there we go. Yeah, they were. I mean, it's really creative where they use puppets and interact with people and everything at a Ren Fair, and they did a really good job. I was very happy about that. So if you didn't check that out, please go take a look. Really a fun show, something to enjoy. Now, for this Thursday, we have a really cool gathering, and that I'm really looking forward to, because well, he's been on the show before and always fun and interesting, and this is of course Fugly. And Fugly, he plays some traditional music and some not so traditional music, but with this it's going to concentrate more on the traditional and some really good renditions. So something to check out. Do stop by and enjoy that on Thursday. So yes. Oh, and Jeremy's there, and yes, something really cool to check out. So do look for that. We'll have a link up for that by tomorrow. So I'll be sending out invites like crazy. So don't worry, and do go ahead and when you get an invite tomorrow, go ahead and confirm everything so that you'll get the reminder, and that will be very good. So yes, and one of the best things about Fugly is not only are the shows great and entertaining and fun, but he participates. I think Galatia will back me up on this. He participates in the comments more than most performers. I mean, he really goes all out and comments and talks about it and answers questions, and really, I mean, he goes 110% there. And we all of us always appreciate that. because yeah, he just loves it and loves to talk about songs and the experience and everything, and it's always appreciated. Oh, and okay, definitely, I'll see you later, Elizabeth. So yes, something to check out, and really looking forward to that. Whew, always good. Now, let's see. For me, I guess the next thing coming up, though, for me is tomorrow, because I will be on Nat 21 again with Paulo Garbanzo, and it with that group, and a lot of fun. Again, Thales, the artificer, gnomish artificer. So I'm having a lot of fun with that. It's a fun character. I'm just channeling my inner 15-year-old, or at least from what I remember, and it's just a lot of fun. We are having a great time, and we've got several episodes in, so it's starting to really pick up and be something. So something to check out, Nat 21. If you like gaming at all, or if you just like people acting goofy, performers acting goofy, that's what we are. So come check it out. That'll be tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Central. So check that out. And yes, I think that's a lot of it, I guess. I guess we should probably do a 7 reasons, right? Since Kristen is in, I'm kind of just waiting to see if Kristen's ever not in the comments. Because if she's not, I might just forego 7 reasons and say, ha ha ha, she's not here. But I probably won't. But okay, 7 reasons for today. Last weekend was a bit warm. There were some people who definitely had some issues and had to, sit down for a little while and rehydrate and take it easy. It's tough, especially if you're out there really working hard, doing sword fighting or sweating and all that. I mean, it's warm enough to start to get to you if you really exert. So, yes, I thought 7 cool things you can do at Faire on a hot day, right? What do you think? Good one? I think that works, because we're going to have a few more hot days coming up here, and yeah, hopefully not too hot over the next few weekends at Sherwood, but as we get closer to Memorial Day and the summer fairs, it gets pretty warm. So you want to remember some of these. Okay, Jeremy, 7 reasons not to do 7 reasons. I'm so stealing that, and that may be next week. That may be next week. I'm liking that. Alicia, make a note of that, okay? 7 reasons not to do 7 reasons. I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, so 7 cool things to do at Faire on a hot day. So number 7, the obvious, of course, finally an excuse to wear that big hat. When you wear that big hat at Faire and people are like, well, no, that hides your face, not good. Now, oh yes, nobody will give you flack over it. You can finally wear that big hat. I know it's a simple one, but it does exist. I've always wanted to wear that big hat, and I've never got to wear that big hat. But someday I will. Someday it'll happen. Number 6, bodice chillers are your friend. Now, I this is from Alicia, so I'm going by her experience there. I assume, yeah, that's very true. It makes sense. I've heard that bodices very, very warm and on hot days. So yes, bodice chillers. So something to think about. Yes, and Laisha's right. Not a leather hat for number 7. That is a very, very good point. Number 5. Stages often have shade for relaxed viewing. I mean, it's the best reason to go and check out different groups and performers, because usually it doesn't happen at every stage. I'm not going to lie here. There are some stages that are just in the sun because of the fair, the location, or whatever. But fairs usually try very hard to at least let the audience be in shade. Not always the performers, I'll say that, I've seen that. But the audience normally has a good bit of shade, and it's a great excuse. Go relax, enjoy a performance out of the sun, and hopefully there's a nice calm breeze blowing in too. So something to relax. And okay, number 4. Perfect excuse for ice cream. Well, maybe not for Drew, but everyone else, perfect excuse for ice cream. I mean, something cold. Enjoy it. I mean, that's Faire. Sometimes it's that place where you get that food you don't normally get it at home. So yeah, go get that ice cream in a pineapple and enjoy it. It's great. Number three. Number three. The Watching Well Winches show. It's not just for comedy anymore because go in that front row and you're in the splash zone. Oh, yeah. Get there, enjoy it, and just kind of go, yeah, okay, done. We're good. And cool off. It is a huge bonus. When it's cold out there, the Watching Well, I feel so sorry for them. I mean, people are like, not in the front row. But when it's hot, oh, they are a popular show. So make sure you get there early for that front row because it's important. It is important. It's a very sought after seat. So number two. Number two. All right. Get out of the sun with shopping. I mean, really, all of the booths, they have the best shade in the fair. They're completely covered for the most part. And I mean, even if you're not going to buy anything, it's always fun to window shop and look at all the cool stuff that they have at Faire because they always have cool stuff. I mean, at least some of it is cool. So it's a good excuse to kind of just relax and go from shop to shop and look at some cool stuff because that's part of what Faire is about. At least some of it. So yeah, definitely something worth checking out. And the number one cool thing to do at Faire on a hot day. Pickles, the Renaissance health food. Oh yes, it's all about the pickles. And it's really rare to find a Ren Fair that does not have a pickle salesman. They usually have a cart. Some booths do sell them too, and it is great. I mean, it's good. It tastes good. It really helps revitalize you. And usually the pickle salesmen are some of the most funny entertainers you can find. I have found some of the most hilarious people that were pickle salesmen at different fairs. Just have to say that. Just have to say that. Yep, Damaris is right. It's the pickle juice. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Yeah. Janine's talking about popsicles, and it can be too much sugar after a while. That's true. You do want to do minimal because you can overindulge with the sugar. You got to spread it out. You have to eat some other stuff too. Definitely. Definitely. Very, very important. Oh, man. Oh, Jeremy's going at it. He's thinking, this is always dangerous stuff. I think sometimes that's why Jeremy shows up here because we give him ideas sometimes. And right, Nancy's saying pickle juice is good when you're dehydrated. It's very true. It is very true. So, yeah, it's natural Gatorade, really. So definitely something to check out. Something to check out. What? The fairies have a giant jar of pickles in their treehouse? I didn't know that. I've been there every single weekend since weekend one. They didn't tell me that. Oh, Kristen, she's got an in there. Oh well. Pickle juice popsicles? I don't know, Damaris. That's a little interesting. Might be a little too much. Yes, and Andrew Benson on YouTube is also describing the benefits of pickles. Cold on a hot day, electrolytes, great stuff. And you're right. You're totally right. Yeah, I think it's surprising. I think some people don't really think of pickles on a hot day at Faire, especially if they're not used to that. But no, it's actually a really good go-to food, and reasonably priced, and usually readily available. So yes. Oh yeah, and Rebecca, yeah, I totally understand that. Not everybody likes pickles. It is a taste, an acquired taste sometimes. Usually you either love it or you don't. And nothing wrong with that. And that's why I said earlier that I've been so happy about the wide variety of food at Faire because it does help. It makes things a lot better. So yeah, definitely something to check out. All right. Well, cool. Well, excellent. I know what you're thinking, probably. I know some of you have probably thought at least that, oh my gosh, Andrew, you just did a weekend of Faire and you seem awake. What happened? Because last Monday I was pretty much dead to the world. I have a vague memory of the show. Yes, I got an amazing amount of sleep last weekend. I worked so hard on Saturday. I pretty much came home and passed out immediately, and woke up a few hours later and had enough presence of mind to take off my boots. That's how much I quickly passed out, and yeah, I ended up getting over 8 hours of sleep on a fair night. That never happens. So yeah, I'm actually doing okay, much better, and I might have to try to keep doing that. Um, oh, did I? Kristen says that I rocked it on his beer, beer, beer song Sunday afternoon. Um, wow. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad to hear that. I thought it went well, but yeah, yeah. It's I this year last year and the year before I really went crazy with the beer, beer, beer song, um, the um, the beer medley really song, and it's I at the end, I started to think maybe I overplayed it. And you always worry about that with a song. How often do you play it? People really liked it, but you don't want to do that. So I've been trying to not play that very often at Sherwood. I'll break it out every once in a while, and people are like, oh, yeah, and make it a little more special. So that's what I've been trying to do with that and how I approach it. Damaris now wants beer. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, we give you all those cravings and everything at Fairlife, and that's what it's all about. I mean, yeah, that's what Fairlife is. And that's what Faire really is. It's all about just having those cravings and going to a place where you enjoy it, where you get to see the sword fighting and watch the joust and eat all this cool food and listen to great music and see great performers acting and doing creative things and see all these cool items. And it just it scratches so many itches at once for certain people, and I'm definitely one of those. Definitely one of those. And yes, Drew, it's Charlie. Well, actually, no. It involves that song. It's a beer medley, so it starts out with beer, 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 and goes into several other things. I've mixed it up with so many times. A couple of years ago, I once did a whole 30-minute show with the beer medley where I just threw out every single beer song I could think of. I did some crazy stuff. I even did I did a weird version of 99 Red Balloons with as a combination with 99 bottles of beer on the wall. So yeah, I went to 99 bottles of beer. Take one down, pass it around. 99 bottles, 99 bottles of beer. And it just, yeah, it got really crazy and ridiculous. But, that's what happens. That's what happens. And so yes, always fun. But no, I'm going to keep going with. I'm going to keep going with it, and probably I'm making a lot of adjustments to my shows this year and having a good time, kind of figuring out a lot of cool stuff and some of the different shows playing with as the Three Bards and doing the Bard Off competition. I mean, that's only been a part of it. So yeah, it's a lot of cool stuff. I'll talk more about that in the next few weeks, and maybe yeah, we can talk a little bit about how I approach it. So yes. Oh yes, Jan. I really hope you can make it this weekend. I am glad really glad you're feeling better. So yeah, hope to see you. So yes, thanks again, and I want to thank you all for joining me again on another Fair Life, because it's always fun. At I mean, Fair Life is just a normal life, but hey, that's when you go to Fair. That's what life is like for you. So enjoy, and I will see you soon.